You know, one of my buddies, when we were on a trip and we were having some issues with cooling, he was like, "Man, you took the most reliable truck in the world and turned it into the least reliable."
What's up, man? What's your name and where you from?
Albert Ayotte, one of the few that's been here for more than 5 or so years, you know?
In Nashville.
Been here since '98, originally from South Texas. The first car that I ever was driving was a '94 Toyota 4Runner. Yeah, it was sort of ingrained in me. So mom and dad always had Toyotas. I remember standing out the sunroof and waving to the kids and just having so much fun. There's something about the brand in particular, some of the values that they seem to hold are kind of endearing for me, right? Like they build things that are made to last. Mm-hmm. They may not be the flashiest, but you can always rely on them. So this is a '92 Toyota Land Cruiser. We lovingly call it Misfire, the 80, because it's an 80 series Land Cruiser. It was the cheapest one for sale in the area, and he went and checked it out. Mm-hmm. And he went on his vlog, and he was like, "Nah, that thing's too beat up. There's no way.
There's no way.
There's no way." And so I said, "You know what? I'm going to find that thing and go look at it." Well, I did. I made a deal on it, and it was rough, but I knew that I wanted to do more with it, so I scooped it up, brought it back. So this is an LC9, so it's an aluminum block 5.3 LS motor.
Came out of
like a Tahoe.
Oh, okay.
It came out of like a Tahoe. Couple hundred pounds, but then you strap a supercharger on top of it, and then you add a second battery, and then you add all of the accessories.
So you were saving some weight, and then you added some more.
That's it.
And it just almost didn't fit, right? You had to make a little cut.
Yeah, that was fun.
I think it looks cool, though.
I think it looks great.
Yeah.
I'm kind of a GM guy as well, and so yeah, LS swapping is somebody that kind of came up in the late '90s and early 2000s is always the thing to do. So.
What was the reasoning behind taking the most reliable engine out and putting the LS in there? What was the
power?
Power.
Burnouts. Yeah.
Towing.
Making noise and having fun.
Okay.
That sort of thing. And towing, right? We have a trailer that we tow behind it. We built this to both overland travel, and then we also built it to do a lot of kind of hardcore off-road type stuff. So we actually take this truck and do some competitive off-road rallies with it. We go to Windrock, once or twice a year and really push it. But, it's kind of a different mix of both overland and off-road stuff. And as you get a little bit more into it, like a lot of the different niches in the automotive space, you find that purpose-built vehicles are not necessarily good at everything, sure. And so that's kind of what we had to do here was figure out where to compromise a little bit to make it a little bit more comfortable on road and, where to compromise a little bit of comfort to make it great off-road. But I think it strikes a good balance.
So, did you have this on a dyno?
We did. We had it tuned. It made it like 330, 350 at the wheels, but that's a massive tire and through a 4L80. So there's a lot of parasitic loss there. But this is also running almost the largest pulley that I could get from Grip Tech. We've got a smaller pulley. Right now it's about 7 PSI. The next pulley down should be about 11 PSI. So we've got some more power we can throw at it.
So speaking of wheel and tire, so what suspension setup do you have here? I mean, what's going on here?
The suspension's kind of wild. So for a while there, we were importing a suspension from Australia. And so this is a Slinky suspension or Slinky Spect Icon Vehicle Dynamics long travel setup for the 80 series Land Cruiser. And so anyway, these are Icon Vehicle Dynamic shocks that are longer, but they're custom valved. It's a variable taper spring. I mean, this thing you'll see here in a bit flexes, and it just looks amazing.
Like you don't think it's possible, and it just keeps going.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. And then some of the stuff we do with this thing at high speed, it strikes a really good balance, again, between like being able to rock crawl, but being able to go down the road comfortably.
80 miles an hour on the highway?
Exactly, or hit whoops, or do jumps, or do whatever. You know what I mean? It's pretty wild what we can do with this. And Yeah, anyway,
That's
great
awesome.
suspension setup.
And I mean, you actually use a snorkel because you said earlier that you were going in deep water. I mean,
Deep water crossings, absolutely, and thick dust.
Your
and all
buddy,
kinds of stuff.
your buddy said his wife called it a dorkle.
And Dorkle, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you're off-road, the goal is to keep all four wheels in contact with the ground, otherwise you're going to lose traction. And so we do all this suspension stuff to add this much flex. So that way, whenever you go off-road, you have the capability to just go wherever you want to go. But really, this ramp in particular is just to test that capability. Pretty good?
So what's you got some Ayotte tech here. What's
Ayotte
that?
Tech, yeah, they're manufacturer of these gull wings.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. So you can get in there and quickly access tools and that sort of stuff. We've got a big 75-liter Dometic freezer in there and freezer. So we can have ice cream on the trail. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Big 110-volt inverter, so we can run all kinds of like household appliances off of there.
And you do, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. We've
Brew
got
coffee and
yeah,
I mean,
yeah. We do all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's really fun. Really fun.
I love that it's your daily. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it's,
The kids, they're hilarious. I've got one daughter
pick
that
them up from
loves it.
school. They're like,
Your truck is so loud. It's so embarrassing.
And you're like, hell yeah,
I'm
it
like, yeah. It's been great. Like I said, I mean, we drive it every day.
every day. How far is the commute?
It's a long commute, man. It's about 2.5 minutes.
Well, honestly, like if I like riding in here, it's a lot quieter than it looks on the outside.
Absolutely. Like this is literally my daily driven vehicle for about the last year, and no issues really, other than having to keep feeding it gas.
Yeah,
just
and maybe
tons of fuel.
catching some stuff at the gas station when someone sees the LS. So what's the farthest you've taken it then?
We did a massive trip a couple years ago from here all the way out to Colorado, went and off-roaded out there. We spent, myself, my wife, and my two daughters, spent about 2.5 weeks just kind of living out of it with some friends of ours on a big epic road trip. The next year we went down to New Mexico and then down into Big Bend, Texas, you know, and then came back. We've gone all over the place and come back, and we got a lot of stuff planned for the future.
Okay, and you also said you changed to the LS for towing. We could kind of see the camper back there.
Yeah.
What was the total weight of this thing with the camper,
Man,
the trailer?
I was shocked. You know, you keep just adding stuff to it. You don't realize how much weight you're adding. It's 7,700 pounds with just the truck.
And what was the tire? Because we saw you put it on there, 160
It's
wheel and
about
tire?
160 pounds per corner, and then a spare, and then I've got 2 on the trailer, and
Yeah.
you know, the trailer itself, we weighed at 2,400 pounds, so it's just a chunky thing to be driving down the road and to try and cool off and get up to speed and then still be able to do stuff with.
Yeah.
Yep. This is going to the solar. Yeah. Pretty cool.
When's the last time you went somewhere? Recent?
No, we haven't used it recently, unfortunately. But we do have a trip planned here in June, where we'll be doing an event out at Windrock.
And you also said this is like an old
1960s military trailer.
60s military trailer, and then you built it to.
Yeah, we you know, custom axle, that way I can have electric brakes. We did it the same bolt pattern to match the truck, that way the wheels can match the truck, so if I need to steal one off of here.
Even though you have an extra, you might need 2.
It's happened.
Has it happened?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's like kind of a pain in the ass before bedtime, huh?
It's not as bad as some of the others,
I'm just
dude.
kidding,
You
man.
should see some of the others. Like some of the other older style tents were
You've been drinking too much
a
by the fire, you know.
They were a nightmare.
Who was that? that goes all the way. Oh no, this comes out here. I see. Yeah.
It can be a trick, but once you do it 10 or 15 times, you're good. We've got clients with these things just traveling all over the country.
I mean, and the fact that you're doing it in like a somewhat vintage vehicle too, right? Like I'm sure people attach something like this to their Tahoe, right? But you're doing it in a, you know, is it 40 years old now? No, 30 years old?
Yeah, 30 years old. 30 years old. You call me vintage?
Are you 30?
No, 43.
43, okay. I got you.
Age like milk.
I mean, who's the engineer that came up with this thing?
Right?
Unbelievable.
I think the Chinese.
And the whole family, you got 4 people that sleep in there, right?
Yeah. We've got an AC unit that we pop in there. It runs off its own battery pack, but also we have a 460 amp hour battery on board here with a 24 volt converter. So we just run a cable up to it, set the AC unit in there, take a nap in the middle of the day. It's super comfortable.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Right?
Got a little heater you can put up there as well.
Someone's taking a nap, someone's cooking down here.
Yeah, absolutely. Put the awning out on the other side and cook up a meal.
Very cool.
30 gallons of fresh water on tap, you know, with an RV style pump. It's awesome, man. It really is all that you really need to get out there and
Oh yeah, for sure. And I love that you can just park it, and if you need to go, I mean, you know, 30 miles, whatever, to go get, you know, the store and pick up
most
something.
of the time what we're doing is we're going out and hitting a trail and recreating,
sure.
you know.
How long have you had it? I didn't even think I asked you that.
Yeah, so I've had this thing for, I guess, the last 6-7 years now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's been great. Like I said, I mean, we drive it every day. A lot of the times, I don't know, there's certain... Here's the reality, right? People make judgments about certain vehicles if they're too loud, right? They assume that you're some punk kid and that sort of thing. But they see this thing, and because it's a Land Cruiser, people are like, oh, I remember those. I really liked those. Or my dad had one, or, you know, whatever. And so people just tend to universally enjoy it, and I love it.
Would you ever sell it?
I would.
You would?
I would. I've thought about it.
Yeah, okay.
To me, it has done a lot for us. We've made a lot of great memories in it. It does have some sentimental value. However, owning a shop, one of the things that we need to be doing is constantly building and modifying and having new things and that sort of thing. So we've got a couple other Land Cruisers that I've got some plans for.